Buongiorno. Hello. Welcome to our review discussion, which is an open discussion about games. We like to pick a game, play it, and then just talk about it. The game that I've picked for this week is Electronauts, which is a bit of an unknown Survios game. Survios are very well known for making very good games. They've obviously released Raw Data, they've released Sprint Vector, they've released what's the one? Rise, is it Rise to Glory, the boxing game? They've got some really good pedigree. This game came out and I picked it up because it looked kind of cool, and I ended up putting a good 4 or 5 hours into this game, going through all the different songs. And is it a game? That's another question. I mean, let's pass it over to you, Wes. In fact, what is this? Is it a game? Is it not a game? What do you think it?
I would call it a game basically because what you're doing is playing. You're getting in here and you're playing around. Sure, there's not, it's not objective based gameplay. You can't die. You're not going somewhere and doing something, but in effect, you are playing, and you're not like playing an instrument either. If someone described this as making music, I mean, it is in a sense, but really, it's more of a remix machine than anything because the everything's all sampled out. These are songs that are totally rendered out by different artists, and the program deconstructs each song into bits. You have each piece of the song broken down that you can work on, and you basically get to remix it, changing the tempo, putting in different sounds. You get to customize other people's music. So if anything, if I had to label it, I would call it a DJ simulator. But yeah, I would consider it a game because basically what you're doing is going in there and playing around.
Yeah, I think that's a good description actually. Like you say, it is more of a DJ simulator sort of remixer, rather than that. You do get quite a bit of control. I mean, you can you have a real influence on the song. It's not like a rhythm game where you've got things coming towards you and you've got to hit it and just to play the right note. You literally can do whatever you want. You can turn the melody, you can start with the intro, you can start with the drop, you can have nothing playing at all and you just making noises with the different samples that they've got. So you do have a lot of control. The game does have a built-in, I can't remember the name that they gave to it, but it basically makes sure you stay on beat so that you can just battle things as hard and as fast as you want, and it'll still sound good. Well, ish, depending on you can still make it sound pretty shit to be fair, but it won't be out of beat at least. But yeah, there's quite a few different tools to this. So but before we get to that, we'll start with graphics as we all do, and I'm going to pass this over to you, Roots. Visually, what did you think to this game?
It was amazing. It was another like I don't want to say like Tetris effect type, but just the colors and the way the lighting and like I was looking at some of the panels and the way the lighting shined on it. They did it. They really, I can't think of one thing that Survios didn't nail in this game. Like the graphics were really legit good. Especially when you're going from song to song and you go through that tunnel and it's like kind of like the warp tunnel or whatever. It just was really impressing to me. I went into this game like you were saying in our main episode, or I guess when we were talking about you picking this game, I just didn't think anything of this. Like you were saying, most people don't, and it's a perfect game to review for that reason because it blew me away, and for what it is, yeah, it was good.
Yeah, you kind of in this like on this like booth, like on a stage almost, like it's this moving ship, and you've got all these things like in a 180 around you that you can play around with, but you're going through this tunnel or you're going through these different environments. It's very bright, very colourful. There's lights flashing everywhere and things are pulsating, and yeah, it's got a cool atmosphere and a cool feel to it. But Wes, let me go to you gameplay wise. So I know you've said before we started recording that you felt it was kind of restrictive. What did you play about with all the different things? Did you enjoy like these orbs or the because there is a lot of different things you can do. I mean, there are probably tools out there that are in VR that are more in depth, where you can actually input your own samples and make your own music. But I think the thing that I liked about this was that you didn't have to worry about that. Everything is just laid out in front of you, and you can just mess around and just create different songs. And you do feel like you're having an influence. And for the most part, it did sound pretty cool. Some of the songs, if you found a song that you liked, but how did you find it? Did you like all the different tools that they gave you? Did you find it a bit too limited?
Uh, it's designed around ease of use. It's meant to be played with. I never really felt like I was making music. I felt like I was accessing it. I felt like the tools were all different manifestations of the same function. Like those orbs there could have been the grenade, or they could have been the other some of the other stuff like the little cylinders that you mess with. It's all pretty much the same stuff, and as you play through track after track after track after track, it's all pretty much the same. And basically, I found myself just doing the same thing I would do in a poorly designed melee game, and just wrist waggling a whole lot, and everything's so nerfed that it sounded awesome. You know what I mean? As long as you kind of can get into the beat a little bit and control how you the rhythm at which you throw your arms out, you pretty much it's hard to make it sound bad. You can make it sound bad for a few seconds here and there, but it's hard to mess it up. And I had some fun with it. It was fun for a little while. The biggest draw for me was the visualizations. That's really what I wanted to what kept me going through the different tracks, is to see the differences in the visualizations. And even that after a while is fairly repetitive. But all in all, it was pretty good fun. Uh, Good for an hour, sure. Good for 3 hours, not so much for me, but it was okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'll try and go into some detail about what you can actually do, because there is a few different things you can do. Like you mentioned, the grenades. So they've got this like a row of grenades, and everything's you've got hands in the game, so but you've got like these sticks that come out, and then you can pick things up with the sticks. So you're not actually picking things up with your hands. You're kind of picking things up with the sticks and then using them as like ones to hit the orbs and stuff. So you've got like these grenades that you can throw, and they'll do like yeah, and like stupid noises like that. And then you've got these orbs that you can pull up, and you can switch and change how you want each station. And there's stations that you can close and open up. And then when you hit the orbs, they make different sounds. Roots was demonstrating the sounds, but I don't think he'll do it for me.
No, maybe I will. But what I was going to say is, like, everything that Wes was saying, I disagree with in the sense of the things, because like I found there's two, if not three sets of orbs. And like I found that if there was three, two of them sounded really good. So the first thing I did is I looked at the orbs, and then I would set up because there's three stations. I'd set up two orbs, and then I would mess with the visualization, and then I would I can't remember what the third one of what I set. But what was cool is all of those sounds, like as you're bouncing back and forth between them, it's like if you're just smashing stuff, you're not. But if you're hitting them and you're going back between, you're like boom, 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 you know, like you're just like you just hit these weird noises, and the way that you can make them bounce back and forth, you can make it sound like an actual addition to the song. And this is what was weird. Okay, I had to work this morning really early, long day, and then do the show. I wanted to have some beers and go back into it. Like I almost went and grabbed a 6-pack and went back in, because I thought this would be really cool if I had a buzz, just a good alcohol buzz. And I'm probably going to do it tonight, because I'm not stupid. I needed some sleep, but it was just different. And just switching back and forth between them. Every song had different nuances and different sounds. And, imagine an elaborate soundboard with different sounds you can hit. I think you nailed it, Wes. It's definitely, it is not a music maker. It's a DJ thing. You're taking someone else's music and you're tweaking it. And I had a lot of fun with it. So
Yeah, you're more of a conductor than a musician, because like you're saying, you touch these orbs and they may go bump 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 bump, bump, but you're not the one controlling the pitch or the rhythm of it. You're just choosing that sound. And basically, that's what you're doing here. You're choosing this effect, you're choosing that effect. You can change the tempo overall with sliders, and yeah, basically, you're you're remixing someone else's song rather than making your own. It, honestly, and this is the God's honest truth. When I was playing this, I thought to myself, man, if I lived where Roots lived, I
Fucking
would
yeah.
enjoy this so much more. Because 25-year-old me would play this all night long. But honestly, I can't do the things that I would need to do to make me enjoy this to the fullest potential. So unfortunately, it was just okay to me.
Yeah, I'm on Roots with this one. I really enjoyed it. I mean, I picked it as my game for a reason. I do feel like you don't have full control, but I feel like you got a good amount of control over what's happening. And I do feel like I mean, you can literally take all the music out. You can just have all the music off and just have the beats, and you make your own beats, and you can make little sequences. So you can make like your own little like hooks that keep repeating, and you can change from like the intro to the drop and change it in order. You can have this. Some songs have got vocals, so you can have someone say something, and you can cut the vocals out. You can like they've got this box where you can like has a bit of echo or like change it so it's got more treble and yeah. Whenever I'd go into a song and I'd like you Roots, I'd lay things out and I'd just have a little bit of a play. Like what noises do they make? What noises did that make? And I'd just have a bit of a play about and just figure out what noises. And then I'd just start just like kind of riffing and just kind of like just just knock in a little bit and then throw in a grenade and I'd get into a bit of a routine like just yeah yeah and then like boop, 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 boop. And yeah it just I'm not even into this music. I don't even like this music, but for some reason I just had a lot of fun. I was just like bopping my head and just just like sometimes you could just go crazy and it's like or sometimes you'd just be a bit more precise and I mean like I say I went through every single song. It took me about 4 hours and overall I thought it was fun. I think I can't remember what price this is actually. I've got it written down, but
It's like 20, 25 bucks, I think.
yeah, it's not massively expensive, but yeah, it's £15 or $20. I don't know. I mean, let's just conclude it now because I think we've been going on for long enough. But let's finish. Let's wrap this up. I mean, the music. I'll say the music mostly is like trancey sort of dance music. There's not really anything else mixed in there. So if you don't like that sort of music, I can't even say that because I don't like that sort of music and still enjoyed it. So I don't know. My conclusion is that I really enjoyed it. I think it's a bit of a hidden gem in terms of out of the games that Survios has made, this is the one that people don't seem to talk about much, and I don't think it did very well compared to the other games. I recommend it. I would probably maybe pick it up on a bit of a sale. I mean, I've seen it go on sale quite a bit. You could pick it up for like £10 or maybe even a bit less. I think it's fun. I think it's worth picking up. You know, it'd be so good for a party as well. Like if you've got friends coming around who like this sort of music, and you put the thing through your big speakers, and you're just like the DJ at the party, and can you imagine just like doing all this shit and then people taking it in turns to make the music and stuff? Yeah, I think it's really cool. I recommend it. So, Wes, I'll move to you, Mr. Neggy Nelly over here. What do you say?
No, I'm not negative on it. It's just uh, it's not my favorite thing. It was just okay to me. I had fun in it. I was bobbing my head the entire time, and it was fun. But do I see myself going back to it often? No, no, I don't. Um, Again, 25-year-old me would play this frequently. So I definitely think there's a market for it. I think that people who live in a place that they are allowed to alter their chemistry to the point that the music sounds way better. I think we'll have a lot of fun with this. I think the kids could have a lot of fun with this because, like I said before, it's kind of hard to mess it up. I'm quite confident that my children could make some pretty good sounding music inside of this program. But all in all, it's just okay for me. I would say wait for a sale. 10 or 15 bucks is probably pretty fair for it. Even better yet, if you could get something like this on Viveport, Uh, it may even be on there. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's just okay in my opinion.
And Roots, what did you say?
You're Wes, you're dead to me. No, just kidding. No, it's good. I think it was above expectations for me. I really enjoyed it. I would say it's worth at least $15, maybe 20. Obviously, if you can get it half price at 10, which I have seen, why would you not? But one other thing I forgot. You remember that you got your selfie cam, right? And stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys put it on the cam that circles around you? And if you did you find yourself like me showing off for it? Like and I see it coming around and I'm like getting into the shit and then it goes back around and I literally thought, I'm like, why am I showing off for this camera? But
you can actually record it. So these are all tools so you can record. I've seen people record it where they're like holding the selfie cam out and they're kind of like banging the things and then they've got it rotating around, and so you can record yourself and like upload it onto YouTube and have these cool beats and you record yourself like from a third person or like a camera that's rotating around you and stuff, which is cool. I think because I think Electronauts probably thought this was going to be more popular than it was, and that it was going to get shared on YouTube and there were going to be loads of like viral videos and stuff. Because they did say that they were going to keep adding more songs to it, and they haven't. So I think ultimately the license fees and everything for these songs are going to be way too much for them to justify if they haven't got the player base to do that. So It's a shame. It's probably a bit of a failure for them in their eyes, but overall, go on. What we can say?
One thing that I really wish that it had when I was playing it, and maybe it does, and I just didn't see it. Each of these tracks are fully realized tracks from these different musicians, right?
Yeah.
But as far as I could see, the only way you could access these tracks is in their broken down state so that you can remix them. I would have really liked a mode where the song just played and the visual went with the song, and something that less interactive and more of an experience for each of these tracks, because the songs are decent, even though this isn't my favorite, genre of music. Some of these songs are pretty good, and I would have liked to experience them the way that the artist who created them, who actually created them, intended them to be experienced.
Yeah, I don't think you can do that, but maybe it was some sort of maybe part of the licensing meant that it was because you can't play just the song as if you would do as if you bought the actual song. And you've got to create it yourself. Maybe that helps them with the cost of the licensing for their songs. But yeah, I just enjoyed making them. So I don't think I would have been that bothered about just standing there and just listening to it in the environment. But yeah, I get your point. And it's worth saying as well. But we've mentioned that you can. It kind of tries to keep it on beat, but you can turn that off. There's an option to turn that off. So if you feel like you're skilled enough to be able to keep the beat yourself, you can turn that off. But I kept it on because I've got no rhythm. I'm a white guy, so yeah. So I think that'll conclude our review discussion of Electronauts. I think it's a recommend from all of us, but probably on a sale. So I think it's worth picking up. It's worth having a play about with if you wanted something a bit different. It's a great demo thing as well. Like you could put someone in and it doesn't require much skill. You just stood there, just hitting things and messing around. So it'd be a cool thing to put someone in, maybe a teenager or something who'd probably like the music. But yeah, it's a recommend. It does come on sale a lot, actually. I've seen it on sale, so I would say definitely pick it up on a sale, play about with it, and I think you'll enjoy it. I think you'll enjoy it more than you thought you'd enjoy it. So, and that's it. That'll wrap it up. That'll do it for this week. We have got another review coming out tomorrow, which is Intruders. So keep an eye out for that. And then that's it. I'll speak to you guys later.
Easy.
Bye.